our Agile reality. Woo! Thank you. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how we came together as a group. So our topic, when it was first posted on the wall here, was Scrum Fall. And all of us that came together find ourselves in situations where we've gone down that Agile journey. We're somewhere on that path, but we still find ourselves bumping into areas where like, this is not really Scrum, and is that okay? And we don't quite feel right about it. And how do we start working towards a path where we realize and recognize more of what we see in that Agile manifesto? So with that, we wanted to do just quick introductions. We're a small team, so we wanted to just kind of get each of us introduced real quick, and also share a little bit of information, something we want to get off our chests. So I'll let you start.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. Before we actually go through, I will introduce myself. So I'm Jimmy Flores. I'm from San Antonio. We have a global company with operations in India and in the United States. I was a college professor for a long time, so the work we were doing seemed like professorial kind of work. And what I want to get off my chest, especially working with global teams, is we sometimes fail to integrate our global teams, and we leave them out there hanging.
Hey everyone, my name is Ed Asenas. I'm from Orange County for First American Title, and with my teams, and the reason why I was attracted to this team was that my POs don't spend as much time, with the teams as I would like them to. Our teams, we established it 2 years ago. We kind of got comfortable with the process, but reflecting on it more this weekend, I kind of think maybe we should push a little bit more.
Hello, my name is Stephanie. I am from a company called Strata Decision Technology in Chicago. And the thing I want to get off my chest is my team struggle to collaborate. So they work independently on their work. They talk to me, the Scrum Master, instead of the rest of the team when they're reporting in the daily Scrum. So we're working on that.
My name is Kara. I'm also with Strata, same company as Stephanie. And we're rolling out Agile to a client services or consulting environment. So our POs are actually consultants who travel. Therefore, they sometimes do not make it to Scrum, which is very challenging and something we're trying to work on.
Hi, my name is Chris Olson. I'm with State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois, 2 hours south of Chicago.
Oh, it's called ISU.
ISU. All right, give it up for everybody from Illinois. And no, I do not know Jake.
Never gets
old. My sad face comes from we allow bully waterfall projects to push us around.
Okay, so just to get us started, we spent some time creating a mission statement. We thought that was going to be important, kind of our guiding perspective. And so our mission statement is Scrum Coach's guiding principle to adapting the framework to your environment. So we did not want this to be prescriptive. We wanted anyone to be able to take it and adapt it as necessary. Of course, this is not the entire body of knowledge. Everyone can add and subtract to it and modify it, which makes it more of a guidebook here. So the focus is bridging the gap between the manifesto and our actual work environment. So knowing how far we want to push to that utopia stage, knowing that it's an ongoing focus over a long time. All right, Karen?
All right. So when we started figuring out how do we tackle that as a strong of a...
Come forward.
Oh.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, God. As we were putting this together, we realized we needed to kind of rein in on some topics because while we have a really great group, in 48 hours we could only cover so much. So we decided to zero in on a few areas that our organizations were struggling with. One is leadership adoption, so are our leaders fully bought into Agile and where do we struggle? What kind of is a healthy backlog and what are the attributes of a backlog that we'd want to be seen within our organizations? How do we coach our teams to excellence? Scratch that scorecard, that was a copy and paste error. And how do we work through challenging environments? So we talked through some of the aspects of our companies that make adopting Agile challenging, so the fact that we're client services or we have people that work remotely. And then within each of those topics, we actually work through a specific methodology to get us to that list of guiding principles. And where we started was saying, what do we feel like that ideal state is? What is that utopia? And then why? Why is that where we want to be in an ideal state? What benefits do we see by getting there? And then, do you want to flip this?
Yeah, one sec.
And then from there, we talked about where we saw our companies falling, our organizations falling short of that utopia. What are those big gaps that we see? And then that really drove our guiding principles. What are those guiding principles that help us as Scrum coaches to guide our teams towards that ideal state? So one of the things we really did was put together a list of guiding principles for each of those 4 topics, as well as some questions that we asked ourselves when trying to assess our own teams. And so we wanted to talk through one example of that to show you what we've put together, and then we'll kind of wrap up with where we go from here.
Okay, well, here are the coaches team's guiding principles. One of the, I think I have probably some of the most questions regarding where we were going, because the focus here is, if you are a coach, how do you start that dialogue with the organizational leaders to say, hey, this is a pretty good way, or pretty important reason for you to have Scrum and incorporate it into your organization. So if you can look at it from that perspective, I think it adds more value. How do you broach the subject and say there's value in the coaching or Scrum perspective here? So we value team stability to drive high-performing teams. So the idea here is moving work from team to team versus moving people from team to team. We thought that was an important concept. Also, establish a team-based mindset and culture. So I think that's also the key to having success on projects, the embracement of working together. And encourage team members to expand skills and commit to diverse work, so being more of that generalist that we talked about before. And product owners can be most effective when dedicated to only one team. So I think this is my last slide. So the only thing I want to say is that we were a small team, and I think we ended up losing one person, right? I don't know if that was because of us or that person was gone. But I've been on a lot of teams over the years, and really felt that we came together. And what I really liked about our team was that everybody was open-minded and committed to working and hearing each other out. Sometimes that doesn't happen. I think you've seen that before. So I was really pleased to come here, and I think I definitely got what I wanted out of the coaches retreat.
And then the last piece of what we put together was, underneath each of those topics and the guiding principles, was really a template for us personally. We wanted to bring this back to our organizations, and as Scrum coaches, have a series of questions to do a self-assessment, and where are the areas that we feel like we are falling short, and what actions do we want to drive to really put something to that we can present to our leadership or our teams on how we want to progress. So this is an example of what this looked like. So we talked about, do we have folks who are switching teams frequently, and are there ways that we could seek to improve that so that they can not keep hitting the restart button on the forming, storming, norming, performing progression. Do our teams have that team mindset versus an individual mindset? Are certain team members always committing to just the work that they have done before and they're comfortable with versus starting to become more generalist? So this is just an example. We actually did a little write-up that we saved and hopefully can share with everybody. So if you are so inclined and want to try this out at your organization, we're happy to share. I know we'll all be doing that at ours. And just to echo your points, I think we all really learned a lot of stuff. We are both very much newbies in the Agile arena, so appreciate everyone speaking with us and giving us a chance to learn. Thank you.